So if we have, that line L contains 0, -3, and .74, point P has coordinates 4, 3, find the distance between point P and line L. If we want to make it look similar to what we had yesterday, we need an axis system, correct? Okay, this will not be perfect, but we're going to draw an axis system. 0, -3 would put me where?
Through the left.
How about down 3? 0, -3. 7, 4 would put me out here and up here, approximately. So I have line L. You have point P, which is at 4, 3. Someplace about right here. Correct? What do we know about the distance between point P and line L from yesterday?
The closest distance is perpendicular line.
Has to be a perpendicular line, right? Remember that from yesterday? So a perpendicular line means I would have something that goes similar to this. I need to find this exact intersection spot right here. So in order to do that, don't I need the equation of this line and also the equation of this line? Remember yesterday we worked with two equations to get that? Can I find the equation of this line given 2 points? What do I need to know in order to write an equation? I need to know the slope and the y-intercept. Can I find the slope from these 2 points? Slope would be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right? Remember that little formula? So the points were 0, -3, and 7, 4. So can I find the slope?
Yeah.
How?
You would put, substitute 4
Yep.
-3 over 7 minus 3.
Anybody have a problem with that substitution? 4 minus -3 over 7 minus 0? Which means the slope is, as somebody said, 7 over 7, which is the same as the slope of 1. Right? What's the equation of this line going to look like then? What else do you need? Okay, looking at this, do I already have a y-intercept for this particular line? I actually do right here, don't I? So isn't the equation of this line going to look like, using y equals mx plus b, y equals 1x minus 3? For that particular line? Would you agree? If I don't have a y-intercept, what am I going to have to do? How? What? Either continue the line, or do you remember the little formula that had y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 when we did these before? So could I find that this same equation by using this point up here? Let's try it. Y minus 7 equals 1 times x minus 4. So y minus 7 equals x minus 4. Y would equal, would equal what?
X plus 3.
Why didn't it come out the same? Aren't the same, are they? And nobody can figure out why it's not the same? Point is 7,4, and now down on this one we got y equals x plus 3.
Could we use the negative 3 0?
We should be able to use 7,4 and we should get the same equation here and here. And do we? What's wrong with this one?
Use 7 as
Ah. Isn't this supposed to be the x coordinate and this the y coordinate? And what did we substitute down here? The other way around. So then I have to add 4 to both sides, which gives me y equals x minus 3. Right? Simple substitution error. Okay? Watch how you put them in. So right now I have an equation for this line, right here, line L. I now need to find the equation for the line that goes through point P that's perpendicular. What do I know about the slope of that perpendicular line? Slope of the perpendicular line has to be a -1 because of the fact it's the negative reciprocal. What's the reciprocal to 1? And I have to make it the opposite sign, so it'd be a -1. How can I find the equation of that line then? What's the point up here?
4-3.
So I have the point, I have the slope. How am I going to find the equation?
Y minus y1 equals
Okay? Point was 4-3. Where am I going to substitute?
And it means y minus -3 equals -1 plus 2.
y minus just what?
Nope, it's just y minus 3. This is positive. When I put it into here, it makes it a negative. So it'd be y minus 3 equals -1 times x minus 4.
Right. Times -1, so it'd be y minus 3 equals -x plus 1.
Now what?
Add 3.
So if I add 3 here and I add 3 here, what does it become? So now I have 2 equations. Correct? What do I do with those 2 equations? Okay? So I need to set them equal to each other. So I have y equals x minus 3, y equals -x plus 7. So x minus 3 is going to equal a -x plus 7. What now?
So it would equal to x minus 3.
What needs to go where?
Add X with dollars and then
So 2x will equal what?
X.
So the x equals 5. How can I find the other y coordinate now that I have that the x equals 5?
Put that back into one equation.
Which equation do you want to put it into?
Make it back.
So y equals 5 minus 3, so y equals 2. So I now have the point where these two meet at, from over on this side, happens to be 5 comma 2. And I need to find the distance from here to here. So from the other part of the problem, we had the point 4-3. From the intersection, you have 5-2. Right? How do I find the distance between 2 points?
This equals to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared.
Distance formula. Which one's your x1, y1?
X1 for X, your Y1 is good.
So that was a decision made by Katie. So if I put it in, what do I have?
Minus 4 y squared plus 2 minus 3 constant.
Any problems with the substitution? What's 5 minus 4?
1.
It's 2 minus 3. What's 1 squared?
1.
What's negative 1 squared?
1.
So the distance would be square root of 2? So the distance from point P to line L, right here, the distance from point P to line L is going to be the square root of 2. Or if you found that as a decimal equivalent, 1.414. So it's the same process that we did yesterday, except yesterday we already had the equation of this line, didn't we? When we did the problem that we finished up on the board earlier today. We had to find this equation today, we have to find this equation so that I can find the intersection. Okay? To find the distance?